De-reverberate by Acon Digital does exactly what the name suggests. This unique plugin is designed to edit the reverb sounding characteristics, sometimes recorded onto audio files, meaning it can greatly reduce the reverberation captured during the recording process in some instances. And in some cases, it can be used to emphasize the reverb as well. Let's take a quick look. In this example, I prepared 3 different audio tracks to reference: a bass guitar, Hammond organ, and a snare drum. Let's take a quick listen to the bass guitar. You'll first notice that the reverb is printed onto the audio file. This can often happen in any number of possible recording and mixing scenarios. As the file plays back, I will raise the reverb time parameter here. As this value gets closer to the actual reverb time printed on the track, it will begin to eliminate the reverberation itself, leaving just the source material. Of course, using this in conjunction with the other parameter settings too. Let's check it out. Let's dive in now and take a closer look at De-reverberate's plugin settings. Selecting the Acon Digital icon logo here will open your default web browser, taking you directly to acondigital.com at any time. A great resource for accessing technical support, updates, more plugins, and so on. The default preset menu is very basic. It provides general possible settings to help get started. However, since there are limitless possible reverberation characteristics in countless varieties of audio recordings, I find it best to learn these parameters and make them work for me as best as possible for each audio file and situation as necessary. Next, undo and redo buttons followed by A/B functions for setting up comparisons. And then the plugin menu here. You can access De-reverberate's user guide from this menu at any time, and even choose from 2 unique color schemes for identifying the plugin on different tracks. Now, starting at the bottom, as we've just seen, is the source settings parameters. One for reverb time and one for reverb level. The first, reverb time, is used to adjust and match as closely as possible the length of the reverberation. And the reverb level should be set to match the loudness of the reverberations. I often start with both parameters set to 0 and slowly raise each while carefully listening until a desired reduction is achieved. Let's try this out on our next example. I'll solo the track and let's check it out. You'll notice that when the plugin is bypassed, the signal level was reduced in this example. In the output reverb settings here, you can compensate for this with the dry level output parameter. Just adjust it to taste, often matching it as closely as possible to the original file level. Next, the reverb level itself. It will adjust the estimate reverb signal sent to the output. Both of these parameters can be enabled or disabled below here with these settings. If you begin to hear some processing artifacts with the settings you're closely happy with, take the time to tweak the plugin as best as possible with these parameters to get as close to the signal you desire. You can always use the spectral smoothing slider here to try to mask them to taste. Always start with this in a 0 position so as not to pre-introduce any processing from this unintentionally. By selecting the difference monitoring here, you can hear just the signal being removed. And below that, the Use Emphasis Filter function. This will activate the adjustable EQ parameters to either help emphasize and or further manually adjust the correction for De-reverberate's processing. Once activated, the EQ presents its adjustable parameters. From left to right is a low shelf, 2 peak filters, and a high shelf. Double-click any one of these at any time to reset them back to default. Let's try it out on our next demo track. It's a snare drum with reverberation printed onto it. Separating the reverberation from the actual snare sounds you might think is really challenging, but DeVerberate gives us incredible processing tools to really accurately try to hone in on that sound and separate it out, thus bringing out the original source sound or something close or even uniquely to it. This is just a quick look at this amazing plugin, DeVerberate by Acon Digital. I suggest downloading a demo today and checking it out for yourself. Visit acondigital.com at any time for more information.